third for Bisu, spotting the Dragoons there, and also most likely spotting there's nothing else. 2 mines still being able to plant it by those vultures. Observers out in the field as well, because Bisu really needs to spot out possible mines. He's going to need to start macroing up pretty quickly to get a larger sound force. He mostly is very Dragoon heavy right now. And against the large vulture tank army, it's not going to be very successful. He also doesn't have any auxiliary forces. He's going to have some zealots. He did have a Silver to do, so I expect zealot legs to be out fairly soon. Zealot speed to be out fairly soon to help his zealots out. 5th gateway now as well. And I saw a 4th factory coming down for PianO. Stargate already on the way. Also Temple Archive. 6th gateway up. So Bisu just going to take advantage of this. Try to go. I've seen him do this before. He techs up very, very quickly. Macros up very, very quickly. Sacrificing late game economy to try to go for a very quick timing attack and try to catch the other player off guard. He's done this while behind before, while severely behind, and come out very successful. I believe that's how he played. Also a DT on the field, so he's going to try to take advantage of PianO not spotting it out. We're going to see whether PianO actually spots the blip or not. Going with vultures right inside the main. 1 vulture managed to get inside. 3 vultures going to get blocked by probe and dragoon, but at least 1 vulture get inside, getting the scouting information, also killing several probes and spotting. There's a Dark Templar in play, killing even more probes and spotting what's going on. I'm not quite sure if he spotted the Stargate or not. Tanks now moving up the field by PianO. Has a vulture to support, but not really evident enough. I think this might actually be a chance for Bisu moving downwards. All the dragoons coming up very closely. There are mines being planted, but a little bit too late. All the tanks go down. Only Marines and vulture now in play, and also SCVs. Dark Templar also coming into the field, but there's still more tanks down south. Scans going off for PianO, just desperately trying to spot the Templar taken out, but he's losing his tanks. Didn't get enough force in time. Not heavy tanks enough. Dragoons just milling down, a lot of them losing their lives, but desperately putting on the pressure on PianO. PianO not really managed to take advantage of Bisu with beautiful timing attack. He's not going to force down even further. He is most likely going to take his 3rd here, take advantage of that. He is going to need more economy if he wants to. Yeah, there you go. Next is coming up. He is going to need a 3rd base if he really wants to hold up this economy. He's thinking of. He has 6 gateways up. He also has his first Arbiter already on the way, only on 2 bases. If he doesn't take that 3rd, he's going to find himself very, very depleted. There's an Observer in play in PianO's base, so at least Bisu knows exactly what's going on. PianO has no 3rd gas critically, so that's why he hasn't been getting as many tanks he really would have wanted. Not taking his 3rd gas, just very vulture heavy at the moment. Also finally adding some decent amount of factories, planting out mines all over the place. He needs to spot that 3rd at the 12 o'clock from Bisu. He managed to do that. He might actually send some vultures out there to at least harass it, but Bisu does have an Observer alongside Zealot and a few Dragoons to help defend that just in case that pressure is going to be coming. Only still 2 machine shop from PianO, so he's not still focusing on auxiliary troops. Now finally getting his refinery down. And he didn't lose. His economy hasn't been harassed at all, but he's lost quite a few more troops, and Bisu has a lot more troops on the field, so effectively he has map control. Those vultures not really giving PianO all the map control that he would have wanted. There are a lot of mines on the field, but if Bisu wants, as he showed just a second ago, if he wants to move downwards and put on pressure, he can do that with observers in play. PianO doesn't really have any sort of field position. Bisu smartly blocking off the entryway from the eastern side with those pylons, so the vultures are not going to be able to get in. Vultures are going to have to streaming through the bridge into Bisu's own forces. Bisu actually with a lot of dragoons now in play, also several zealots, while PianO has a tank positioning just to step natural expansion, also putting down turrets just to help take out that observer. There's an observer right above that, so that might actually go down unless Bisu manages to escape with the time. Even more observers just coming to play. First Arbiter now, so we're going to see Bisu. I think this might actually be a time for Bisu to move it. There's only 1 single turret in play, not nearly enough to help defend there. I sure hope for PianO's sake that has a lot of scans, and I think PianO knows that the Arbiter is coming down. We're going to see whether the pressure is going to be coming on right this moment. Observer goes down, but still not enough. Arbiter still just in play, while apparently a Marine was actually taking a few pot shots at it, forced back by Zealot. I think at this moment, the longer Bisu waits, it all comes down because Bisu does have his 3rd base up right now, so he's going to be able to mine on that. He's just going to be allowed to macro. While PianO's still on 2, but the longer Bisu waits right now, the better chance that PianO will set up a decent position down the field. He has a lot of church, but now just the time at Bisu side. This is the time to go. Zealots run down right away. There are a decent amount of vultures to block, but some of the Zealots still manage to get through. Dragoons coming in to support, and scans go enough arrows so the tank can try to take on those Dragoons. Dragoons are now being taken out the tanks with rage. Tanks, however, not enough in number. I think they're going to all go down. All the siege tanks go down. Vultures got on the south, but not really coming in to support. All the tanks are going to be cleared up. Some mines going off, helping to clear out some of those Dragoons, but still more Zealots in play to block and take out those mines just before they pop. Turrets are going to be able to take it down in PianO despite an early lead, and now it's going to be in a horrible position. Really a bad follow-up by him, I believe. Didn't put up the necessary defenses takes out an observer from Bisu's there, but there's still not enough. Bisu getting even more force. Dragoons and Zola just ready to stream down. The Arbiter also still in play on 3 bases. As I've said before, Arbiters are so deadly on this map. There's a lot of positioning. There's a lot of open space for them to fly around. There's space for recalls. And of course, if you really... The open space for Terrans means that I think the Arbiters are going to be able to just come in and stasis anything they want. And PianO at this point just desperately trying to hold Bisu off. He's still in a horrible position, I believe, only on 2 bases. I think he's trying to expand at the 6 o'clock base, because if he expands at the 9, it's going to be far too vulnerable, and Bisu just being able to take full advantage of it. He also has an eBay floating up at the upper left-hand side, I believe near that 9 o'clock, just to spot any possible recalls coming in. But even if that does happen, I don't think he's going to have enough to really stop it. If Bisu goes for a recall, and with not even all of his forces, just like half of what he has, he's still going to be able to do some damage, especially if he goes for the factories, for the troop production, just not running around. There are mines all over the middle. Bisu just trying to clear himself some positioning, some open field advantage. Some mines go off into some of the forces, at least do some damage, at least hold Bisu back for a little while, but PianO can't really stay this heavy on those vultures. He does have a decent tank position. He had his natural expansion just beyond those bridges. A lot of mines there as well that are now being taken out. Well, meanwhile, PianO decides to finally go for do some damage with those vultures. Vulture planting mines, and they're not going for the 12 o'clock as I believe they should be. There's Dragoon glitching on the ramp there. That's going to get taken out by those vultures while it's in that extremely vulnerable position. There is only one single cannon defending, so at least PianO's going to be able to get a lot of those probe kills, a lot of those probes all going down. Arbiter coming into play with those units to help support, and blocking those probes from vision. But still decent play there by PianO. Actually finally managed to do some decent damage. Putting down what I believe to be a command center that's going to float off into the 9 o'clock. So maybe he actually didn't take the 6 o'clock. The observer hasn't really showed it, so I can't quite tell. PianO just been forced to produce a lot more units that he would have really wanted, not really managing to focus on his economy too well, because, of course, he's going to give himself a very vulnerable position. Second Arbiter now in play for Bisu, and PianO tries to take a 3rd base. He's going to find himself very vulnerable, so he has to put up a lot of defenses. Bisu still has that observer right inside of PianO's base, spotting everything out. There are a lot of mines and turrets. A few turrets ready for that recall, so we're going to see what the Bisu actually decides to go for it. There is an Arbiter coming down. I'm not quite sure how successful this recall is going to be. One turret is going to start firing on it. There are mines, but the mines aren't really close enough to the gateway's recall. He's going to come in right past that minefield, right in where he wanted to, right close to those supply buildings, really close to the command center. And if he manages to take out this command center, that's going to be GG right there for PianO. PianO now in a horrible position. There's not really that much mining going on in this main, but still there's one of his only lifelines left. Desperately trying to pull up this ramp with tanks. A second recall coming in from a second Arbiter. Or was that Arbiter even a part of the recall? I can't even tell right now, but man, that second recall just to block the ramp, and Bisu now has absolutely open space. These factories are doomed. Anything coming out of them just dying. Mines being pushed into tanks, barely coming out of those tanks. Some of those tanks are at least taking up the ramp, but overall Bisu in a dominant position now, with one single timing atop, managing to take the advantage that was swiftly taken from him by PianO. Overall, a beautiful match, beautiful play early on by PianO, only to unfortunately spoil himself with very bad play a little bit later on. So I think he's in a horrible position now. All of his SCVs have been taken out. He's lost a factory, no production whatsoever. And GG finally coming in, as Bisu obviously has a far superior position to himself. So bad start for the Stars. Bad start and great start for the defending champions, SK Telecom T1. So Bisu with his trademark smile and grin that makes girls' knees shiver and go weak. He's going to go high five all of his teammates, his coaches, and just going to sit back down and wait for his teammates to finish this off. Second set coming in soon, guys. We're going to see what happens. PianO going to go sit down on the bench and wonder what went wrong. GG, guys. Wrenching out. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed.